Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and deliver the essential insights you need. Today, we're focusing on one of the most brutal environments for planning out there, modern construction.
It's an incredibly high-pressure world.
Totally. The tension
Yeah.
is just palpable.
Yeah.
You have these projects that are more complex than they've ever been. I mean, we're talking intricate BIM models, layered contracts, global supply
All
chains.
these dependencies.
Exactly. And yet, the demand for fast, predictable, and accurate deadlines and budgets is, well, it's absolute. There's no room for error. And the problem is the traditional planning methods, the manual data entry, the endless spreadsheets, they're just not cutting it anymore.
They're failing to meet that demand for efficiency and certainty. They're too slow, too prone to human error.
So our mission for this deep dive is to explore the tech that's starting to fundamentally change how construction estimates get made. We're talking about robotic process automation.
Or RPA.
Right, RPA.
Yeah. And, it's important to clarify what we mean by that. We're not talking about physical robots on a construction site moving steel beams.
No.
We are talking about software. Highly sophisticated software bots that are designed to automate repetitive, rule-based tasks. Think of them as like a digital workforce.
A digital workforce. I like that.
They simulate how a human would interact with different digital systems. So a bot can pull data from design software. It can check clauses in a legal database, update financials in an ERP system.
All without a person having to click through it all.
Precisely. And the key function there is that simulation and integration. And the promise is, well, it's a radical increase in speed and accuracy right at the start during timeline and budget estimation.
Which is where so many projects are won or lost.
Exactly. It translates directly into better project outcomes and, of course, cost savings.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the timeline, because if that schedule is off from day one, the whole project is basically set up for failure. So how does RPA do more than just make the process faster? How does it make the schedule itself drastically more reliable?
Well, the reliability comes from what I'd call dynamic data synthesis. It's moving way beyond just using a static template.
Okay.
So when you input the parameters for a new project, the RPA bot doesn't just grab a generic schedule. It automates the gathering of all the project data scope docs, material specs, drawings.
But here's the game changer you mentioned.
Right, here it is.
Right.
It immediately starts analyzing past performance data. And I don't just mean looking at the average duration of 10 similar jobs.
I mean, it gets more granular.
Much more. An advanced system will cross-reference projects based on incredibly specific criteria. Things like, was it built in the same city? Did it use the same key subcontractor? Was it completed under similar, say, supply chain volatility?
Wow. So it's not just an estimate anymore. It's more like a statistically weighted prediction, one that's based on actual historical risk factors?
That's the perfect way to put it. We're talking about generating a detailed schedule in a few hours, not weeks. And it's using predictive models pulled from thousands of real-world outcomes.
So this shifts project management from being reactive to
Proactive. You get a reliable warning of potential bottlenecks before they're even theoretically on the horizon.
That makes perfect sense. But I have to bring up the elephant in the room here. Garbage in, garbage out. Right.
No ways.
A concern?
If the historical data itself, from messy spreadsheets or poorly documented change orders, if that data is flawed, isn't the RPA system just making a flawed schedule, but, really, really fast?
That's a critical challenge, and it's why you need a sophisticated RPA deployment for this. The defense against that is the bot's ability to normalize and cleanse the data before it does the analysis.
So it cleans it up first.
Yes, RPA is actually excellent at spotting anomalies. It can standardize units across different old projects, and it can flag data sets that are just way off.
For example, well, let's say a past project's plumbing duration was 50% longer than 95% of similar projects. The bot doesn't just average that in, it flags it for a human to review, or it might apply a heavy discount to its weighting.
Unless there's a good reason for it.
Exactly. Unless the reason, say, a specific union dispute can be identified and factored in. So the automation itself actually improves the quality of the input data over time.
That is a key insight. The system gets smarter.
It does.
Okay, let's pivot now to the budget, because a perfect timeline doesn't mean much if the project goes wildly over budget. And budget estimation, I mean, that's just a minefield of manual data entry and human error.
It's traditionally been a nightmare, yes. The challenge is trying to pull costs from all these different non-standardized sources.
Like what?
You've got labor rates from union contracts, material costs that change daily on global markets, subcontractor bids coming in through email as PDFs. It's a mess.
So how does RPA tackle that chaos?
It steps in and automates the core financial heavy lifting. So it does the automated data entry, it analyzes the costs of incoming bids by comparing them against your own historical benchmarks, and it really tightens up the whole procurement process.
Yeah, it's pulling real-time data.
That's crucial. It pulls real-time data from financial systems, compares it against the quantities from the BIM models, and integrates that with actual current supplier pricing.
So you get a living estimate.
Exactly. A living estimate, not a snapshot that's out of date the second you print it. I mean, just reducing the manual data entry alone slashes the potential for those little transposition errors that can end up costing millions.
So we're really talking about a profound shift here. We're moving away from having expert estimators spending weeks piecing things together to having them validate the output of an automated real-time cost model. The human is no longer the calculator. They're the high-level decision maker.
That's it, exactly. Human input shifts from checking the math to ensuring the strategic viability. The estimate becomes so much more defensible because every single line item can be traced back to a verified, integrated data source.
Not just a number in a spreadsheet cell that someone might have fat-fingered.
Precisely.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Let's zoom out. Beyond just the estimates, what are the broader implications for efficiency, for overall project cost?
Well, the financial game is immense, and it starts with just reducing non-productive time. RPA handles these routine tasks orders of magnitude faster than a human team could.
So you're saving on salary costs in the planning phase.
You are, but the real return on investment, the real ROI, comes downstream during the actual execution of the project.
How so?
A huge driver of cost overruns in construction is late-stage change orders. These often come from poor initial planning or inaccurate scoping.
Right.
When RPA delivers a tighter, more reliable estimate and schedule up front, you just minimize those incredibly costly mid-project corrections. You're shifting your people away from administrative firefighting and toward value-added work on site.
And that leads directly to this promised role shift. It sounds great to say employees get to focus on strategic aspects, but what does that actually look like for a construction planning team?
It means their roles evolve to focus on complex constraint analysis and negotiation. Instead of spending 80% of their time just verifying data points, the team can use that time to model advanced risk scenarios.
So running what-if simulations.
Thousands of them. What if the geopolitical situation doubles the price of steel? What if new climate regulations cause a 20% delay due to weather? They become advanced risk architects using their reliable data foundation the bots provide to optimize the project plan.
It really elevates the entire human workforce.
It does, to a level of expertise that just wasn't possible before because of all the administrative overhead.
That all sounds fantastic, the ideal state.
Yeah.
But tech adoption in construction, it's a notoriously conservative industry.
That's true.
We have to do a reality check here. The initial cost, the change management required, I mean, that can't be understated. Is this just a tool for the mega firms who can afford a multi-million-dollar rollout?
That is the most common pushback, and it's a valid one. The initial capital expenditure for a comprehensive enterprise-level RPA system can be a huge barrier, especially for a smaller company.
It can look prohibitive.
It can. But the discussion needs to shift a bit from just looking at capital expenditure to looking at operational expenditure. The ROI in construction can actually be very fast. We're talking months, not years, because the cost of a single major project delay is so incredibly high.
And the technology is becoming more accessible.
It is. More providers are offering scalable, cloud-based solutions that focus on specific tasks, like just invoice processing. This lets smaller firms adopt RPA piece by piece, rather than having to do a massive overhaul all at once.
So the goal is to find a strategic entry point.
Find the point with the fastest ROI, yes.
But even if the cost is manageable, you still have the cultural challenge. We talked about training, but also the fear of job displacement. How do firms actually manage the anxiety that comes with introducing, digital workers?
It really requires a proactive cultural shift. It has to start with clear communication that this is about upskilling the existing workforce, not replacing it.
So you lead with that message.
You have to. And you have to back it up by creating clear training pipelines, not just on how to use the bots, but training focused on the new strategic tasks the humans will now be responsible for.
I see.
The firms that do this best often set up what they call RPA centers of excellence. These are dedicated teams that manage the rollout and help employees identify parts of their own jobs that can be automated.
So the employees become advocates for the tech.
They do, because they see it firsthand, eliminating the most boring, repetitive parts of their jobs. The goal is empowerment.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yes, if we do that, the challenges, the cost, the training, they are necessary investments. They secure long-term resilience for the company. The benefits of moving to data-driven accuracy and proactive risk management, they just far outweigh the short-term pain of getting there.
absolutely. It seems RPA is really poised to play this pivotal role as the industry keeps evolving. It takes all that inherent complexity and applies a layer of data-driven certainty.
Moving us closer and closer to predictable, successful outcomes.
Okay, so here is a final provocative thought for you to consider as you finish this deep dive. If RPA is already accelerating timelines using historical project data, what are the next essential external inputs? So, beyond just past projects, that will define the most accurate estimate a bot can generate in the near future.
Ooh, interesting.
Will the bot start integrating hyperlocal, real-time weather predictions? Or will it be dynamic forecasting of supply chain fluctuations and global tariff changes? Something for you to mull over. Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.